as always, is Jeff, and his name, as always, is...
Oh, me, Paul, yes. Do you change your name often then? Is that a thing where you've got to say, as always?
I've got secret identities.
Yeah.
So
every Saturday.
Yeah, I have a different name for those. It's Paul. That's my name.
Oh, dear.
So we're not alone today, are we? We're joined by a very special returning guest and a friend of the podcast. It's Mr. Jonny Mathers. Hello, sir.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
It's nice to be back. I don't know. You asked everybody else and there was no one left. Is that what
No, not at all. No.
No, definitely not. No.
No, really. We were thinking what we're going to do this week because our other stuff is...
Top of the list.
Yeah. Our other podcast episodes that we've got planned are ongoing prep.
Ongoing prep.
Yeah. That's
you two are always up to something. There's a lot of scheming going on between you two.
Yeah. And we did a couple of episode commentaries with guests recently, and they were well received. So we thought, well, we'll do another one. Then we thought, what could we do?
So you dust the mothballs off the passenger and get him out.
So give Jono a call.
Give Jono a call.
Yeah. Give him a shout.
So you popped into mind, and fortunately you were available, and here we are.
Here we are, indeed. It's good to see you again.
And it's nice to see you too as well. I am very available. I'm not doing a lot at the moment. I'm currently in a leg cast.
You are in a leg cast.
Yeah.
I'm a leg cast. I am immobile. I'm stuck on the sofa with a rather irritating dog and a cat that hates me. So it's really good. It's a fun place to be.
You're trapped between them.
I'm trapped between two furry creatures that just don't get on. It's all awesome.
And all swing that cast around. I mean, what better way then to pass a bit of time, to pass a 40-odd minutes watching a bit of Doctor Who on the telly, eh?
Reminisced about a very, very weird week of my life.
Yes. So when did you last watch any of Flux or particularly War of the Sontarans, which is what we're going to watch?
Quite a while now. I recently obviously watched the new series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it. Bar one episode. There's one episode that just grated me a little.
Which one was that?
73 yards.
Oh, yeah.
I totally got it. Totally got the whole idea behind it. And I was just like, I was trying a bit boring. That's what I want it. And as much as I like, Shooty's a great doctor. I mean, like, as doctors go, brilliant. Really hits that chord that I kind of got into. With, like, you know, he's quirky and the way they presented him is really different. And I really like that. Just not keen on Ruby.
Yeah. So I guess for that episode, because Shooty's not really in it, and it's mostly Ruby. So if you're not so much a fan of Ruby, then it's...
I wasn't, it's just not really. I just don't know. Probably leave that one. I'll go too far. I haven't really watched anything of the Flux bit apart from, like, you know, when I'm at work and someone, it's like the other day, someone new started to work and they were like, "Oh, this is Jonny." And I'm like, "Oh, hello, how you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, you're really tall." It's like, yes, I'm tall. Blah, blah, blah.
Never heard that before.
Never heard that before in the last 20 minutes. And then we were talking about something and he was like, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I told him what I do in my job. He's like, "Oh, right, that's really handy to know, blah, blah, blah." And then someone goes, "And he was in Doctor Who." Like across the office.
Shouts it out.
Shouts it out. Like, I was like,
in the distance.
He went, "What?" I said, "I was in Doctor Who." He went, what do you mean? I was like, "I was a character in Doctor Who." He's like, "Which one?" I was like, "I'll show you." And he pulled the picture out on the phone. And this is the episode. And so that was kind of cool. That's the bit that kind of is really funny because I don't think a lot of people sort of, you know, and I'm not like a face everyone knows, and you know, it's not like I did anything else afterwards, really. So, kind of when people find out, they're all a bit bemused why this guy's sitting in an office with Billy Doctor Who and he's still sat in an office. But you know, it's fine. It's all good.
It's all right, isn't it?
It's all right. Nothing yet. What's that?
Well, before your leg was in the cast, were you still doing your God of War stuff and your cosplay and stuff like that?
Yeah. So when did we last chat? Had I been to LA?
Might have been before. Was it Eddie?
Well, we'd spoken a bit, hadn't we?
We'd spoken a bit,
and it was really, really exciting.
Yeah. So they reached out to us about the God of War Ragnarok game coming out. We made the costumes. Me and my partner in crime, Abby, did a photo shoot. I did a cosplay guide on how to make the costumes and stuff, and then Santa Monica loved it so much they were like, "Do you want to come to the opening night in LA?" And we were like,
Hey.
"Of course we do." So we were packed up, put on a plane to LA, which was crazy. Landed on a Monday, had a tour of Santa Monica Studios on a Tuesday, and had lunch with the director Eric and Corey Barg and the designers, and it was mind blowing just being this place. And then they were like, "Oh, we've got some gifts." Go. And I kind of mentioned that I hadn't played the previous game because I don't have a PS5, and they just gave me one. They gave me a PS5.
Nice.
A load of games, a limited controller. So we've got controllers that only the development through Santa Monica have. No one else has them. You can't buy them anywhere, so that's proudly on the shelf, so the kids can't get their hands on it. But yeah, it was just an amazing time. Then the next night, the Wednesday night, we were at Los Angeles Coliseum, the Olympic Coliseum.
Oh wow!
With all the actors, like Chris Judge was there. It was bonkers, like absolutely bonkers. Loads of other famous people were there as well. I kept bumping into people going, "Oh, I like you. You're cool. I like your TV program." Yeah, and then I might have got a little bit inebriated.
Possibly.
Tiny bit. Yeah. Might have had a few alcohols, and was sat at 2:30 in the morning in a street in Los Angeles eating a steak and egg baguette with a full face of Kratos makeup.
Yeah.
And a sleeveless Jenny from the Block t-shirt.
So imagine that. We've got to get AI to knock that out.
Yeah, no, it's on Instagram. You can find it. Yeah, it's on there.
Have to have a look.
And then next day we just chilled out, and then Friday went to Santa Monica Pier, watched dolphins while we were having a coffee, and then flew home. Just mental 4 days.
Yeah,
mental.
Crazy.
And then after that, it was kind of like, right, we've been working on some other stuff, and then I got called by I've forgotten his name. He's a YouTuber. He does lots of like things about Doctor Who all the time, but he's also a film student. Confused Adipose?
Oh yeah, I know that
right?
Name, yeah.
Right.
So they've been doing a fan film series called The Echoes.
Oh.
And I got a message like, we're doing this blah blah blah. And I said, well, do you know that I've got the passenger costume now?
Yeah.
Because
I know you had the mask.
Yeah. So I made the masks, and then a costume guy that actually made my jacket reached out to me, Stephen, and he was like, "Do you want a jacket? I can make you one." I was like, "Okay, that'd be cool." Just to have in the house on the
yeah.
So all of a sudden, I've got my own passenger mask and I've got my own passenger jacket, and the trousers weren't that hard to knock up together. So I ended up doing a fan film, which I think is getting released soon.
Really? No, I didn't know about that. I'll have to have a look for
that. So and passenger, a passenger, not that passenger,
not
but
that
a passenger.
Yeah.
Is a significant part of the ending of the story.
Excellent.
Ooh, sounds intriguing, doesn't it?
It was an interesting day. A lot of me in a church and a lot of me doing green screen work.
Oh, brilliant!
So we'll see where that goes. I'm not quite sure yet, but it was looking pretty cool. So
excellent. Oh, well, look.
And then that's it. Really, nothing else. Just boring day-to-day job stuff. Few health issues, and then this the new leg cast, which is currently pink with sparkles on it because I insisted.
Super lovely. I was really quite taken by it.
I'm going for a purple galaxy tomorrow when I get changed. Yeah. So I'll post some pictures. It's all
yes,
good.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, we're going to watch through War of the Sontarans
here
and commentate our way through the episode, and hopefully, Johnny, you'll give us some behind-the-scenes stories and tales.
Insights, BTS goss, and all that kind of thing.
And tell us about your time on it.
See, I know the lingo.
Yeah, he's down with it, yeah.
I didn't know the lingo when I was there. I felt like a bit of a wally, but there you go.
Right, okay then. Should we get started?
Yeah, so
let's do it.
If you're going to watch along whilst you're listening to us or watching us on YouTube,
interactive,
and we'll do a 3, 2, 1, and then we'll all play the episode, so you can do that if you're watching as well at home. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Previously, there's Carvanista. He's zapping Dan into his little...
He's pretty impressive, isn't
It's
it?
pretty
cool,
good,
isn't it?
I was a bit jealous after I saw this on TV.
Yeah.
Well, you wanted one of the
Why
axes.
did he get an axe? And I
Why
didn't
did I
get
get
an
an
axe.
axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been
You got a face mask and, stuff.
yeah, but it wasn't quite,
Not the same. No.
not the same. Oh,
Yeah.
Same face.
Yeah.
Yeah, his makeup is amazing, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
It didn't look much different, like in actual real life. It wasn't like they did a lot of VFX to change it either.
Yeah.
Now, this was a weird bit, wasn't it? When we suddenly get this black and white insert out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because the previous episode, it was all kind of kicking off. And now suddenly, this is not where we thought this episode would start. And it's like, well, what is it? What's going on? What's kicking off?
I was totally confused by the floating house. It's very anime, isn't it?
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
And looks a bit
And
Tim Burton-y with all
Yeah.
the jagged.
Yeah, and I remember getting quite excited at the time because I thought it could be like Lung Barrow, which is a Virgin New Adventures novel from way back in the 90s, which featured a house. And there was an illustration for the online version of that novel, which had a picture of the house that looked very, very similar, not going to lie. So I was like, oh, maybe it's Lung Barrow. But
In that
it
exact
wasn't.
voice.
Or maybe it is. We still don't
Well,
know.
it could be, yeah.
Metaphorically, it could be, because the house is a kind of subconscious space as much as anything else.
Every time we watch or talk about Flux, I like to say how amazing it looks, considering the budget not being what the recent seasons have had, and that it was filmed during COVID. A look at this. Like, that's an epic warfield. You've got snow and smoke and all of that stuff there.
Atmos, yeah.
And I know everyone was miserable filming this because it was wet and cold. They're not showing it. It just looks so
I think
good.
as well, what always got me was the fact that Ray Holman has like an extensive supply of costumes. He keeps everything, and I think that was a real bonus in this situation because everything they came up with, he pretty much had. Although in quite a comedy way that John Bishop made a comment once on set about the fact that everyone else looks like they're in Gucci and Armani and he's in Primark.
Yes. He's got standard anorak.
Like they got like a jacket, they got a nice blouse, and I'm in Primark and trainers, and I was like, I'm not going to say nothing.
Although, to be fair, he looks the most well protected in this kind of.
He's got a good coat. I think it's important.
He looks the warmest.
It's the signs of a proper northerner who's got a good quality coat, because you know it might get cold.
True.
You know?
It's kind of standard kit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, in fairness, Dan didn't have much, did he, as a character?
No.
So,
I think that was really an interesting character for John to play, because, like, he doesn't have anything. He's a very helpful person who's got nothing.
puts other
here's the
people before
moment.
himself.
Look at this. Sontaran on a horse. I love this.
Yeah.
The Sontarans have a thing way back in Doctor Who of always having a good entrance right from the very first appearance, and this is right in that. The first sight, the Sontaran in the story, and what an entrance on a horse! Apparently, this was the same horse that appeared in various episodes of Merlin. I believe.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so. I think that's true. I'm not sure if I dreamed it or not. It does happen sometimes.
That was definitely a VFX, because there was not that many people as Sontarans.
I was just going to say, that looks amazing, considering there was probably only 3 people in costume.
I think there's 4 of them, from what I remember being told. There was 4 of them. Because, like I said, I never knew there were any Sontarans in the whole thing until the end of filming, and I saw one walk past my trailer. That was the first time I'd seen one.
So you were on set mostly for this, and you weren't on the location at all, right?
I went on location 3 times.
Was that when you were in Liverpool at the steps?
Yeah, so Liverpool at the steps, and then the Abbey, which you see very little of, which is disappointing. And then obviously the well-known quarry where everything is filmed.
Yes.
So this is the temple, isn't it?
This still amazes me, because being in it and actually being stood in it, it was just one vast room
Yeah.
they very cleverly just kept moving walls.
Oh, really?
So that bit where Vinder's stood now,
Yeah.
later on when you see the shots of inside the main part of the temple, that's one of the that's one of the walls. They just put that lattice work wall they just put in.
Oh, just move it around, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a big hexagon.
Yeah.
It was really clever.
It looks massive.
There's some
doesn't it?
green screen stuff there, isn't there?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh, really?
It's a backdrop.
No.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, get out. Oh, brilliant. I love that.
It was literally just a backdrop because I looked at it and went, oh, look at that.
So what does that look like when you're on set then? Do you look at it and think, oh, that looks a little bit ropey? You know, you wonder how it's going to look.
It looked a little ropey, but I suppose they know what they're doing, don't they? So
yeah, exactly.
It looks good on screen.
It looked really good on screen.
Once you get the camera lens on it and then a bit of grading in post-edit and stuff, it just blends, doesn't it? And we're back in Crimea.
So that bit of filming in Liverpool at the steps, were you there, Johnny, when Mandip turned up unannounced with cakes and things for everyone? That was
yeah. Because I didn't spot her at first. She came and sat next to me, and she just was sat. She had a woolly hat on and a scarf and this big jacket, and then she went, "All right." I was like, "Where do you come from?" Yeah, she was brilliant that day. She just appeared, brought cakes for everyone. I was like, "Why are you here, friend?" I brought cakes for everyone, and everyone like jumped in them cakes like they never been fed. I think she went for, if I remember right, she went for a walk in the crowd because they were all looking for, Jodie and her really, and she walked all the way through and no one spotted her. It was quite funny.
Really?
Dan's vanished.
And then that was when I remember, pap type shots were put out online.
Oh yeah, me.
Yeah.
It took 10 minutes. 10 minutes it took from me walking out in the costume to, I think I can't remember who it was. Was it Jen on the crew or somebody that said, you're on Twitter. I was like, what? Sorry, people. X. It's called X now.
It's called X now, apparently. Yeah.
X now. But I was on Twitter and it just spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
There was all sorts of theories about who I was and what I was doing.
Yeah, but it kind of added to the buzz with it. I think it was positive,
great.
wasn't it? Sort of like, look at this guy now.
Little did they know I was the lowest level of the evil on all of that. You know what I mean?
I love
Very
that bit
enigmatic.
where Jodie can't get into the TARDIS. The door's gone. It's such a cool concept for the TARDIS to just be locking you out.
So this is Dan zapped back into Liverpool, back where he started in the Halloween apocalypse, wasn't it? So obviously his house is gone, shut down. So he's like, actually, that shot there, or it's the one before, isn't it, where there's a guy in the toilet?
Yeah.
in the house next door. It's kind of funny.
Now, I don't think there's actually a house there. I think I saw some pictures online. Someone went to visit this.
Yeah, I think it's already gone. I think they just picked it because it fit what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So I suppose it's easier to add a house than
go on,
constantly
move. Yeah.
delete it.
The production team there with the hammers.
Let's go.
Every house break.
Cranes in. Beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep.
Now, I thought John is really good in all of this, and I've said this before as well, but whenever they said
look at that.
Catherine Tate's joining the show,
over Anfield.
the VFX in this are great as well.
Just amazing.
I had no idea about any of this.
So
no one even mentioned it, which was really weird because, like, you kind of talk to each other on set and everything, and maybe it's just because at the time we were just doing what we were doing, but no one had mentioned, like, and the thing was, I know they'd done some of this stuff before I joined the actual cast, because the day I'd gone to have my first COVID test, they were at the warehouses in Cardiff, and that's when they had a Volvo outside, and Dan's mum and dad's scene where he comes out and he fights him with a frying pan.
Yeah.
So I didn't see them doing it, but they were already doing that. But like when we did the actual filming for the temple, no one had mentioned that stuff at all. So
do you think that is the core cast being really good at keeping secrets, or because people only had the script pages that they needed?
I think they were amazingly good at keeping it tight. I mean, there was not a single rumour around that set. And also, I suppose, one of the things that was really apparent, and everyone's kind of made comments about this, and it's about Chris Chibnall's work, but he was changing stuff constantly. And at the time, we were like, it's because a lot of people were like, oh, some of the crew even said like, oh, it's because he hasn't written it yet. Or, he's had loads of time over COVID. He won't do anything. And it's like, well, actually, he's probably having to change it every 5 minutes because we can't go somewhere, or we can't do that, or we can't, So loads of things were flying around. Like we're going here next week, right? Cool. I get a day off work. Next thing you know, it's cancelled. We're not doing that now. So it was a constantly evolving thing.
You told us when we spoke a while ago that there was going to be 8 episodes originally, and then
that's what I got told was 8, and then they changed it to 6. But they'd only changed it to 6 sometime towards the end of filming. I think they started to get like things were taking too long, so obviously stuff changed.
The fact that we got anything and it was this good is, amazing. Yeah. And, the logistics to do any filming during COVID was painful, and to do something on this scale, and, no wonder, there was cancellations and delays and things like that. Like, I think...
Well, this was quite early on in the whole COVID thing as well, wasn't it? So it wasn't like it was a set rule.
This was filmed. The week I went was the second week of doing this set, which was like the 18th of December.
Yeah,
okay.
I think 15th of December. I can't remember the exact. It was around that time because it was like the week before Christmas, and it was the set was built and they'd already done some stuff on it.
Yeah, so that's probably. Was there a lockdown in December, wasn't there? I think as well. So that must.
I think they just slightly relieved lockdown, and then they
sort of on and off, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I kind of managed to, because they asked me about needing accommodation, and I'd said, "Oh, it's okay. I've got somewhere to stay." Not thinking at the time I should have asked for a big fancy hotel, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And
you
so the first week I was there, I stayed on my mate's sofa, and but the things have been lifted, but there was still a lot of, I needed a letter to go across the bridge in case anyone stopped me and all that kind of stuff.
So this interior of the hospital there, presumably that's a set somewhere that they had at the studios?
I'm guessing it might not have actually been at the studio.
Right.
I remember there's a couple of sets at the studio, obviously. Roselock's split into 3 sections, so like one bit's Casualty and one bit's Doctor Who, and a bit in the middle is Publicum or whatever it's called, the Welsh TV programme. But I don't remember seeing bits like this knocking around. But I think someone said to me about the warehouse, so I'm wondering if they filmed a lot of these bits in the warehouse in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Because they had one down there they kind of exclusively used and decked out with different bits and pieces.
Probably because of COVID and stuff and keeping people separate, maybe they couldn't put every set in the studio. They had to build elsewhere because only some people could go there and others go here and things like that.
And I remember when we went back to film another scene, and they'd taken down the temple had gone, and they set it up. I think now on memory it was like carving Easter ship. The other part had been blocked off, and they were using that for like some big green screen shots.
Yeah.
So I think they probably utilised that. But there was one set right in the middle that is literally just the TARDIS. That's all it is. It's just the TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's the TARDIS with a green screen wall.
Yeah.
So there's actually a TARDIS box outside of it, and you go through a door into the main TARDIS. That's how it works.
Brilliant.
Is it still quite magical doing that and going into it?
It's crazy. It just felt weird. I went and stood in there and had a coffee. I never filmed in it. We were on that set using the green screen. I was like, "Is that actually the TARDIS?" I'm like, "Yeah, can I go in there?" Like, yeah. So I went in there with a coffee, and I was like,
"Wow!"
And it was the infected TARDIS, so it had all the black string and stuff, and there was the weird bit of the door in the middle, and but it was still like wow, what a set! I mean, it's huge. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Did you take any pictures in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
That would have been unprofessional and not allowed in accordance with the BBC rules. No, I wouldn't have done things like that.
No.
Just like, not. Me and John Bishop didn't send a video to my sister.
Oh, dear. What was he like, John? Was he a bit of a nutter on set, was he?
He's funny. I mean, obviously he's a comedian. He's a funny guy. But he's also very serious. He's like he wants to get it right, and
Yeah.
he's so business orientated. I don't know how that guy has time to do anything. He's got like, I think I said before, he's got like 11 or 12 businesses.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, he's involved in like charities and other organisations and stuff. And there was literally one day where we were filming, and he was talking to the director and producer. I think he was talking to Pete Levy actually, and he was like, "I've got to have an hour in a room upstairs without any interruptions." And they were like, "Yeah, we can sort that out for you." And he had his iPad with him, and he was filling away with emails. And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" He said, "I've got to go online to shoot a proposal for a new business." And I was like, "Well, really?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah.
I've got to do that now."
I was like, "I'm on the board, and I've got to do this, and you've got to do this." I was like, "Okay." I mean, imagine that. You turn up to a meeting, it's like, "Well, you got to take on this. You got to take on this new project. Who's in charge of it? John Bishop." Oh well. All right then. He seems pretty sound. Let's do that. Yeah, he's got so much going on.
Do you know? I sometimes wonder. You know, people who are, in the limelight and what they do to fill their time when not working, because there will be periods of downtime and
in
stuff.
between acting jobs.
Like you said there, John's got multiple things that are keeping him busy, and Jodie does charity stuff as well. She's been doing quite a bit of things for various charities. And I remember I was reading something with Bono once, and he's involved in multiple things, and he has one day a week that he is not negotiable, and it's set aside for various things that he does. His Africa work, he's part of Dropbox as well, and various other things. And then so I think he worded it like Wednesdays is boring and the rest of the week is creative or something like that, but he has to block out that time, because when you've got that much stuff going on, I bet it can be quite easy to become messy quite quickly.
Yeah, totally.
They want a bit and they want a bit, but I still got to go and film and all this sort of thing.
I think with John, like he said to me, he said he'd not to do Doctor Who before and he couldn't do it, and then obviously because of COVID he couldn't go on tour, and because he couldn't go on tour, what he would normally use his tour income for is to run his businesses. So without his tour income, he needed something. Not like coming in. I think he's all right. I mean, his skin. But I think there's obviously it's an ever moving machine, isn't it? So
you still need money.
You still need money, and and like acting roles and stuff like that are a bit of guerrilla warfare. You got to be the best to get the job, or else you ain't paying your mortgage, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe not like that for John. He's got his own farm and that. But you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. He's very orientated like that, and he's very serious. He's very healthy as well.
Is he really?
He told me off.
Did he?
He told me off for drinking a can of Coke.
What did he say?
He was just like, he was very like, you drink a lot of them, don't you? And I was like, oh okay, you take 2 cans of Coke. Yeah. There you go.
John.
Cheers, John. Coke Zero. You take 2 Coke Zeros with me to set. He's like, you're always drinking that? I was like, well, yeah. Sorry. Because he's vegan, isn't he? So yeah. He was very like, sorry, John.
So he's looking out for your best interests there, Jono.
No, it's very nice of him and everything, but I'm not going to start drinking Coke Zero because John Bishop told me to. You know what I mean? He's a nice guy and everything, and he means well, but have we lost Jeff?
Has Jeff disappeared?
Jeff's gone.
Jeff's gone.
Jeff's coming back. I was almost the new presenter then, Jeff. You lost.
It's still recording.
Hopefully
You're good.
that's all right. You guys
just
are still
carry
running,
on.
so that's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. This bit here with this Sontaran, it just cracked me up. Following the potato head.
Yeah, this is Dan Starkey back in, isn't it? Which is good to see, actually. A nice bit of continuity with the older Sontarans.
Dan was telling us when we chatted to him about sliding Sontaran face, how he'd get his makeup on,
sweat. Yeah,
sweating whilst he sits around waiting for
painted a lovely
to get
image.
to set, and his face starts sliding.
I think I get what he means, because the first time I was in a passenger suit on set, and I've got the mask on and everything, and I'm stood next to Jacob. And Jacob looks at me and he looks me for down and he went, "Mate, you're leaking." What?
Is that what he said?
And I was like, what? And he went, and I was sweating so much.
Yeah.
It was running down the bottom of the mask, and it was
Oh,
running
no.
down the jacket. So then they'd stopped filming. And,
Yeah.
my assistant came up and patted me down, and we took the mask off, and that's when. So before I put the mask on, every time I
Yeah.
had to roll up like 3 sheets of blue roll and stick them to my head,
Just to
and
soak
then
up.
put the mask on so it soaked the sweat out. Because literally, 10 minutes an hour.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was horrendous. I mean,
Oh,
that
that's
mask
pretty awful.
must smell disgusting.
It's like I've read about people in the bat suit in particular. Not only can they not turn their neck because of the rubber neck,
Oh,
but they can't go to the
Michael
loo.
Keaton's standard Batman move, like that.
oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they sweat buckets in it and can't go to loo. And there was someone recently who said they insisted on a zipper access in their suit.
Zipper
Oh god, yeah, I
access.
read about that.
Get it written into your
Yeah, I can't
contract.
remember
If
who it was
zipper
either.
access
Yeah,
is going to make a
Is it
difference.
Dave Bautista?
maybe.
Ah,
yeah.
might have been, yeah.
I mean, he's just lost half his body weight, though, hasn't
I
he? recently?
saw that as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that wasn't because he's ill or anything.
No, he
basically-
wants more diverse roles in
Yeah,
acting.
so
Yeah.
slimmed down a bit. Yeah, yeah. He looks really good. But very different, and
Yeah.
he's got a beard now as well.
Well, going on to all the sci-fi programs, but do you feel that someone in the design department had a bit of a thing for Star Trek with those circles on the Sontaran's neck?
The little
Yeah.
pips. Yeah. It's like a rank thing. Isn't
Very
it?
next
Although-
generation, isn't it? It's like
It
that.
is, although if you look closely, because I'm a total geek on this, I did actually do this. I blew it up. They're little Sontaran spaceships.
Are
The
they?
little golf, the little golf ball spaceship, the old
That's
scout
cool.
ship from the
Ah,
classic
old ones,
series.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
that would have been Ray doing that, and I
Yeah.
bet that was not an accident at all, was it?
It's a who's who
This
of
is-
Brooke guy that's actors
It is,
now,
isn't it?
Yeah.
This is great. I do like this scene. Actually, it's quite funny. I mean,
They're
it's a total
quite good.
coincidence that Dan's mum and dad would show just at the moment that he
Yes.
materialises
Yeah.
back in Liverpool. But you
then-
kind of go with it because it's just
Yeah.
so much fun.
Also, they're quite believable as Dan's parents, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can you can see how they would have produced.
You can
someone
see
like
that.
Dan.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
And-
If they're not actually John Bishop's real parents, I would be surprised.
yeah. You knock
And
them
the
out
fact
with a
that we don't
frying
see
pan.
them again
No.
that I remember in the series, it would
Sorry,
have been
guys.
nice to have a bit of kind of, closure of that. But me, I totally understand the COVID and all of that, and I can kind of forgive it and live without it.
It was I'm like knowing the background between some of the actors that were there doing the show. Some of them it was quite difficult to be there for any length of time.
Right,
with
yeah,
everything going
yeah.
on, and there was like childcare issues, and it was pretty
Yeah,
the same as anybody else doing a job, I guess. I suppose that for an actor normally there's different ways around it, but in COVID it was pretty much like, well, you can't get anybody else, so there's nobody else available, so you kind of on your sword, aren't you?
look at that.
Yeah, I
Hoisting
think-
the Sontaran standard up the Liver building. That's
We
brilliant.
we know a bit
I love
about the production of all of this, but I don't think anyone outside of you guys who are involved and Chris and everyone know probably really how difficult all of this was to do and the commitment that people made to it.
I think it was quite a juggle. So like for me, I know. I mean, like I'm slightly different in my situation because, I have a normal full-time job. I say normal, but just because I'm not really an actor. I'm just
Yeah.
lucky enough to be big enough to do what they wanted. But it is a juggle, because they were changing stuff constantly, and it was like, right, we're doing this, and then it'd change or it wouldn't happen, and then I remember going to the field in the middle
Right.
of mid Wales,
Yeah,
and then getting carted from there to that quarry. And I'd gone specially, so I'd gone I'd finished work at lunchtime and
Yeah.
driven straight over to Wales, and I sat for 4 hours in a tent in that quarry, and literally right at the end,
yeah.
they were like, "Johnny, we need Johnny now." It was like 5 to 5. I'm like, "How's this going to work?" And they just pulled me out and
Yeah.
did a load of shots of me in front of a green screen, so
Right.
I was in the same atmospherics as everybody else, and then that was it.
That
And I was
it,
like,
yeah.
"What the heck?" And they went, "To be fair, we could have done this in a studio." I was like, "You think?" I mean, I don't mind getting paid, but
Well, yeah, there is that.
I think it was just the fact that there were so many complications of getting everyone where they had to be. So
Yeah,
it must have been
yeah.
tough. Here we go.
Back in the temple.
Now, an interesting, possibly little story here. So I was working on a documentary recently, which was about end of life care,
Yeah.
and one of the ladies, Luna from Arts duo called Whistle Stop Arts, had made some artwork to go in this touring exhibition installation that they did, and she was talking about the inspiration behind it, and was talking about the Maury, and the three women of time that she'd seen in a painting somewhere. And I thought, I recognise that name. And she started talking about the artwork and things like that. And I thought, that's what they had in the Temple of Atropos.
Yeah.
And so I then looked it up and found a bit about them and him and that, and showed it to Luna. And I said, look. And she was like, Luna's not really into sci-fi or anything, and we get on really well. And she was like, that's nice, Jeff. And clearly she was thinking, why the hell are you showing me a thing about Doctor Who? Like, totally random.
What's the link?
And then later, I said, I realised you thought I was completely bonkers then, but this is why I showed you this, and I explained it all, and she was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then she got it there. At that point, I said, I'm not just randomly going, look, Doctor Who.
Yeah, look, Doctor Who. Yeah.
This always cracks me up, and seeing it now, when you're talking earlier about like I'm a little bit rubbish, like on set, was the dead Maury. When you see the burnt out ones?
Yeah.
Because they were literally just fabric over chicken wire.
Was it?
It was, yeah. So when I looked at it, I was like, oh, God, that's awful. I couldn't it was like, it looked like, Aldi Centre Aisle Halloween decoration without a head. But then on set, on screen, it looks brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, the lighting in this, it's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, and this always cracks me up, because this was always described in the script as priest triangle.
Okay.
And when we asked what is that, and they went, it's an automated. It's a priest.
It's a
right. Yeah.
triangle.
He's like a flying triangle. I was like,
yeah.
What like some lumberjacks? What? I don't get it.
Lumberjacks.
Anyone really understood what they meant by and then someone said, oh, it'll be like a prism. Like it'll be floating around.
Yeah. So they got it in their heads. They know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, and everyone on set was going, what?
Yeah. Flying triangle? That's a priest. What?
What?
I know it's Doctor Who, but that's bonkers. Someone comes in with a fishing rod, flying it around like if it was in the old days or something.
At one point, I was expecting like someone with like a ball on a stick or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's your eye line. Look at the eye line, darlings. Look at the ball. Here we go. Yeah. Everybody, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Right, that's in the can.
This must have been funny to film as well. Like just
imagine that, packing out Liverpool or wherever it is with a bunch of Sontarans.
This was definitely Cardiff Docks. 100%. Yeah.
Fire. That's brutal. Oh, Joe, that's one thing I like about this actually, because throughout a lot of Doctor Who, when the Sontarans have appeared, they've kind of been figures of fun. They're just kind of satirical, comical. There to be laughed at. And whilst there's an element of that in this story, it kind of restores them as sort of brutal bastards. Do you know what I mean?
It does,
yeah, and they are. I mean, they're way more violent in this, I think, than I've ever seen in a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
And generally, like
streak.
this part of Doctor Who, this whole the war thing seemed very much more gritty than maybe some of the stuff that I've seen before on Doctor Who.
Yeah, it does feel there's they've got some ways not to kind of diminish. Obviously it's not playing up the horror aspect, the brutality of war, but they're not playing it down. If you know, they're not crushing it under.
The first shot of them on the battlefield when the Doctor wakes up is it's a dead soldier, isn't it?
Dead bodies, yeah. And there's no dismembered limbs and stuff, but
nothing like
it's not Game of Thrones, but. This is a lovely shot. This is like what's that shot in? It's not Endgame, is it? Is it the Infinity War?
No, this is quite Endgame. This bit.
Is it Endgame? Where you got Thanos and what's his face sort of facing each other across this landscape. This is very much like that. This.
Not gonna lie though, Mark Coyd, the director of photography, the cameraman, that guy's a genius. I mean, like,
look at this beautiful light.
He was very, like, he's very professional. He's very on the point, and he, as you can imagine, like cameramen obviously work on different things, and he's worked on a lot of stuff. Like he's worked. I think the only thing he said he's not done is a Bond. I think he said he wants to do a Bond.
Yeah.
So he's done like Star Wars, and he's done TV and films and everything. And he was like, I really want a Bond. That's what I want is a Bond. And obviously equipment from studio to studio is different, isn't it? So the stuff that the Doctor Who guys have got is really good, but I don't think it's like maybe as high tech as maybe some of the other stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they were making do what they had, and sometimes with them kind of shots, he was right in. I mean, like at one point, I remember I could almost feel the camera on my face.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. But he's very he's mindful of everything, and he's a brilliant guy, and he was a lot of fun to work with, and I really enjoyed like talking to him. I learned about what he does from him. Alan Jones.
It looks so cinematic this season, particularly.
It does.
What they did with it all looks.
It felt quite big though. It felt a lot more like they were trying to achieve something bigger.
Shooting above the weight
that
almost.
Shot there.
It's great.
Face.
I'm looking at his face as well. It's so expressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a full head prosthetic, apart from the eyes and the lips, but. It
still
sells it.
delivering.
He's great, and he's great. What's his name? It's Jonathan Weston, isn't it?
I think it is.
Such a brilliant actor on this, because he's got to believe it, right? You can go and just think, I'm just a monster dressed up and what have you, but if you believe it in your head, it comes through the screen.
Yeah, I think when I spoke to Katie, who played one of the other Sontarans, like obviously you got to be able to act through makeup. I mean, something that Sam Sproul said to me as well. Like it was very different for him to have to act through such a heavy prosthetic. Like how do you get that across? It's not the same with facial expressions.
It's not enough. Yeah,
mainly because Sam was meant to be basically half a skull, which I guess is pretty not expressive, isn't it?
Yeah. So a lot of Sam, I guess, is kind of in the voice and the body movement, isn't it? Because he was sort of saying that when you got the Cuban heels on and the shoulder pads and everything else, there's a kind of way that you had to move almost.
He became very camp. I mean, it was in that traditional sense of like camp acting. He was very like especially in this, and we'll see it in a bit when he does the Vinda tries to shoot him.
Yeah.
That was probably the most comedy half an hour I've ever had.
Really?
I was watching Sam just go woo woo. It's just like go over there and do it. Woo-hoo. There was a lot more of them shots, trust me, than what they used. There was tons of them.
Yeah, this is a great moment here, actually. I mean, not only have we got that CGI, sort of bodies on the battlefield, the two armies sort of running across, crashing, but there was that shot there with the eyes, almost spaghetti western-like. You never see this sort of thing in Doctor Who before. Look at that, all those soldiers sort of running at each other.
It's hell of a shot.
I mean, it's only, a couple of seconds, and it probably cost millions or whatever, but it's, it just helps sell the whole thing that there's a big, big battle going on here. And then we bring it into it, just the Doctor and this guy, looking very confused. He doesn't know what's going on. And then the Doctor snaps him with a little finger, Venusian thingy, Aikido, whatever it is. Have a kip. It'll wear off.
So, Johnny, you did some cons after this, didn't you? Have you got any more lined up? Or when you're back
there was a lot of plans to go as passenger to conventions.
Yeah.
Which is now... there's a lot more to what happened in the last 2 years about why that's happened.
Yeah.
But I kind of took a break from cons because my music thing took off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really well.
How's all that going?
So I got asked to join a band called Split Dogs, who are a punk band from around this area. And my mate Will's the drummer. And I kind of joined with the idea that it's just going to be like a bit of a laugh, and then a bit of a laugh turned into this is getting quite serious, and we're getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, I think we've talked about before about you go in bands and don't really do a lot, and you try and then you don't go. This started to happen pretty quick. I joined just after they recorded their first album, which was put out independently, and it was getting a lot of traction.
Yeah.
And we were doing like maybe 2 gigs a week, and not just like. A gig like, at a pub all the time. It was like I think my 9th no, 8th gig with Split Dogs was supporting Sham 69 at the Fleece,
Oh, right.
Really?
which is like,
Proper full on.
yeah, like proper, like, what the hell, where's this come from? So,
Yeah.
it was going really well, really enjoying it. It was really busy. There was a lot of plans,
There
big
he
tours
is.
of
There
them.
he
Oh,
is.
there we go.
There's your moment.
Look at me.
The entrance. Look at that. So there's 3 of them now.
I had to do that 4 times going around that corner, you know.
To make it look like it's
Yeah,
longer.
because there wasn't anything behind that corner. It was just that
Right.
I was tucked in against the wall.
Yeah.
This bit always cracks me up as well. I was going to mention this when when the Zeros got the triangle and he turns to dust.
Yeah.
So like you got Rashenda trying hard to act with like nothing in front of her.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
put your hands out. So she put her hands out. There you go, like that. So there was nothing in her hands,
Yeah.
right? And she held her hands perfectly for this. And it turns to dust. And then they cut the shot. And that dust there is real dust.
They gave her that. They
Literally sweep up what's off the floor and put it in a box and use it for shots. So like, put your hands out. And she was like, oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
Which was funny.
Shenda, look at that. 3 of you look absolutely deadly.
That
That's
was
a nice
the,
little transition from dust
yeah,
to dust.
that was the shot as well where Coidy, the cameraman, was like, said, mate, that looked ace. He said, I love that shot. Yeah. Yeah, the transition there is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But anyway,
got,
yeah, the band stuff just kind of stopped because I had to. One of my small people in my life, one of the kids, got involved in a serious RTC and got injured quite badly.
Yeah.
So I had to go. That's it. I'm out. I've got to do something at home and do get them back on the right track. So music stopped for a while, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to get back into doing cons, so I can do that. And then that didn't happen. And then I started having health problems. So my ticker's a bit wonky, and now my foot's a bit wonky. So my all that's done, and I'm back to some kind of normal physical movement, which doesn't make me feel like I want to like keel over. I'll probably do cons again. I've been asked, but I just can't commit to it right now. So which sucks.
Oh yeah, hopefully you'll get back out to some.
Yeah. I really want to, because I think it'd be really cool to go out and in the actual passenger costume. And there is a group of cosplayers around here, Bristol sort of area, that do charity events all in Doctor Who.
Oh, right.
So there's a couple of Daleks and a couple of Doctors and stuff like that, and they go and do a lot of that. So I'm kind of keen to hook up with them.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. This bit always baffled me that I never saw any of these ships.
Oh, the
I never saw the Sontaran spaceship. I wish I had.
Really?
I would have been jumping for joy.
There's nice interiors. Kind of looks like Sontarans would be there, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
There's a few bits though from this. I'm pretty sure I've seen in a new series.
Oh, what bits of the set?
Yeah, bits of the set repurposed.
Yeah. That's possible.
Yeah, it wouldn't
isn't
surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite fun there with the Doctor with the catapult, isn't it? It's such a Doctorish thing to do.
Yeah, what have you got? I've got a catapult.
A catapult.
Yeah. So you've got a catapult, he's got a frying pan. We're doing that.
Look at him doing his Vulcan handshake thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of Star Trek there.
Yeah.
And then this is clearly the same set, just relit.
Yeah, just all the way around. There you go. Turn the lights on, different colour.
Yeah, works. Yeah.
But again, so Dan's just walking into a Sontaran spaceship armed only with a wok, which I think is a lot of fun.
I think a wok's pretty damaging. I mean, it hurt, won't it?
Especially the way he swings it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And we get a bit of comedy here, don't we, with their tempura. Do you mean temporal, Dan? Yeah. I can't get into this. Honestly, I love this story so much. I think it's definitely one of the better chapters of Flux. It's just brilliant.
There's a lot happens in this episode, isn't it? There's a lot of introductions. You get to meet obviously the big evil. You get to see, the Sontarans are in there. There's like a war in a completely different time period.
Mary Seacole comes back as well.
Yeah, you got an invasion in Liverpool. It's all like there's a lot in this episode.
There is, loads. And it's kind of setting up for what's going to pay off later on as well. And
especially what happens in Once Upon Time. It's a good setup for that.
Good lad, very nice. So, sorry, that's why I get kind of involved in the story now. 'Cause I just
So I think Flux has got so much happening in it, and the fact that it kind of works and all comes together is amazing, considering how it was done. And maybe if it had 8 episodes or 7, the finale would have had a bit more.
It makes you wonder though, would it have been dragged out too long?
Possibly, I think,
The fast pacedness of the
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think in the finale, everything's there. Maybe you have to work at it, perhaps, but it's all all there.
It's all
There's
there.
nothing
Yeah.
seems to be
And
missing.
there's an element to like this series, like compared to other Doctor Who stuff. This is like not 6 stories. This is one
story.
story.
Yeah.
story.
It's a volume.
It's a saga. It's a
Those monitor effects in the ship there, are they in camera?
What the
Yeah, they're
red
not in post,
streaks,
are they,
I'm
I
not
think?
quite sure.
I have a funny feeling that some of it's in post.
Oh, is it?
I'd say that's more VFX. I think
Yeah,
so.
it could be. Yeah. Because I think maybe
You
not.
can see
Maybe
the kind
it's-
of
Sorry, go on.
maybe it's if you look at it quite closely, you can see a bit of a blur. So it might be from green screen.
Yeah. Well, it could be, red lights that they've
Yeah.
put over.
So I think they were saying maybe it was season 11, Demons of the Punjab, and a couple of other stories where a lot of those effects were done like live in camera, weren't they? It kind of just again added to the immediacy of it. But you wouldn't know from this, to be honest. It's just and everything just sells it. It just looks so much more, as you said, Jeff, cinematic.
Yeah.
And expensive.
Lovely lighting on it.
Yeah.
The lighting's really clever, I think.
Boff him right on the back of the neck.
It just goes
Spat him.
down.
How'd you like that, pan-fried Sontaran?
It goes
You can
down,
walk right out of
ironically, like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah. That's just looking for a beard head.
Settling down
Yeah.
that suit.
I bet, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose, yeah. Yeah,
Mandip's
Here we
got a
go.
new show coming soon, isn't she? Oh, you're back.
you back.
There I am. Oh, there you go. Now, this is where everyone takes a mick because they see me looking at the stairs.
Yeah? Is this where you're
There you
leaking?
go.
Are you leaking?
No, I'm looking at the stairs as I go down. Literally because
Mate, I would.
I started down those stairs and it wasn't fun.
No.
It was not fun.
No, not at all. And I suppose you can't really see much in that mask either, can you?
No. Couldn't see it. Was the end below like literally from like nose down.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about I got told off as well for making too much noise?
Oh, did
Oh,
you?
really?
So when they're doing the scene, I'm stood there at the back, aren't I, and they're doing
Yeah.
that, and then gradually I walk round. So I walk round the circle like that while they're doing this,
Right.
and I'm maybe
Yeah.
walking around in the background in a sinister manner, apparently.
Of course. Yeah.
And so I'm still there, and then I'll start walking around. But as I'm walking around, they put me in like these, it's Doctor Who, so all evil people wear brogues.
Absolutely.
And I was in these size 18 brogues, and they said to me, "We'll put some rubber on the soles so they don't make a lot of noise." But they forgot. So as I started walking, I'm like making this flopping noise, right? And then like goes, "Johnny, can we just do it again?" Yeah, no problem. Do it again. But right, and you can see them talking, and you can see the sound guys like muttering, and looking at me like nastily.
Looking at the
And he
meters.
put to me
Yeah.
and went, "Do you think you can walk quiet?" I was like, "Yeah, I can." Why? Am I making too much noise? She's like, "Yeah. Either that, or we got to put your trainers on." So I'm not being funny. If you take these brogues off, you ain't getting them back on.
Yeah.
So if you need it for another shot, passing during a pair of white DCs ain't going to look good. So I very carefully walked around the set then, so I didn't make any noise. This was a fun bit when I just loom in.
Yeah. It looks good.
It's really weird how the camera works though, because I was much closer to them than that looks.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lens, I suppose, isn't it?
I like the gold embellishments on your jacket and stuff.
They
It's
sort of look a bit
quite...
like a circuit diagram, don't they? Some kind of
I
thing.
kind of like the jacket idea because I think we should talk about before about the fact that there wasn't meant to be there was meant to be more soldiers dressed like me, yeah.
Yes.
And they had
Yeah, you
white
said
and
that.
black uniforms on. It was meant to be the general kind of one. I just liked it because it looked like military, but it didn't look like military dress. It looked like military. He's going to come and. Well, originally, I thought the idea was I was going to start smacking people around, but
Oh, really?
So you just kind of take them on board yourself. You consume them.
I was kind of looking. I was thought like some back-breaking moves in there, some kind of like WWE wrestling style thing.
Yeah.
But no, nothing.
Just pile drive Vinder down to the floor.
Sam gets to walk around now and scare young people who are dressed as Maury.
His face there, he looks dangerous, doesn't he? He looks like someone who's having the time of his life. You know, as a bad guy, you know, this is what a villain wants to be doing.
He comes across like he's having fun once he does it, and that's quite sinister.
Yeah.
His mask, though, was really weird because they were silicon. It was quite translucent. It doesn't show up on the camera, but it was quite like, it was weird looking because it didn't look solid.
Yeah. So, like a bone or cartilage or something.
Yeah, his head was felt like jelly, though.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. This is like the best character I think I've ever seen in anything.
Yeah, with his axe that you want.
Yeah, you've got a dog humanoid in Japanese techno armor carrying a light axe that fires blaster bolts. I mean, there should have literally been a whole season on him. I mean,
we do need a Carvanista spin-off.
Didn't someone mention something about like there should be like a Carvanista John and Dan spin-off where they like travel around?
That could be
fun. There's that time period where John Mandip and Professor Jericho are doing stuff. But I would be well up for a big Finish series where Carvanista comes back to see Dan and they have to have some adventures.
That'd be cool. I think that would really work. You know.
And maybe he might appear in the new Fugitive Doctor Audio series, and there's the 13th Doctor series coming as well.
Oh yeah.
He's part of that whole story, isn't he? Like he was.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think he's in this first set of Fugitive, but maybe in the second set that's later next year.
That's the bit I haven't got into yet. I haven't got into Big Finish stuff. I've got to because everyone keeps raving about it.
Oh, there's plenty of it in there, isn't there?
So much.
That's what's daunting. There's so much of it. Like, where do you start?
I think you just got to jump in, just pick the story and just go straight in. That's it, really.
We'll recommend some to you.
Chuck some along.
Give it a try.
You know how to contact me now on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, peeps out there. Not everyone gets to contact me on Facebook. just really special people. The elite.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just love this scene with Jodie and her element on this, acting like a school teacher, taking them through, treating them like kids. Brilliant. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she is just superb every time.
And she doesn't stop, does she? She just goes through scene after scene. I mean, they all do.
And she's always energetic. She never, even when I think there was only one day I saw her, she wasn't having a bad day, but you know when people are just obviously
just flagging.
She even said to me, "I'm tired" and blah blah blah. As soon as she gets on there and they're like, the action, she's just straight into it. It's a real positive attitude to have on a set when especially if like a bit like me when you're nervous and you don't really know what's going on or what you might be doing.
Yeah.
Well, if she can jump up and do it, like I'm pretty sure I can jump up and do it, and I only have to stand there. I don't have to remember any lines or anything.
Yeah, and not make any noise.
I don't have to make any noise, no lines, nothing.
I'd love to see that scene with your clopping.
With the clopping,
the original sound.
I'd need to see some behind the scene cuts of what happened actually on that set because there's some right comedy moments of like just mistakes or tripping up or when John had so in the Temple of Atropos where there's that centerpiece and there's like the crystal-y thing in the middle. Those were like little streams of water, and John just stood straight into one. But I was like, "Be careful, don't stand in the water." And John went straight in. He's like,
I don't listen to that.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I just trying to miss this water. Like, why would you put water in the middle of a set? I mean, who thought that was a good idea?
I never even noticed that it was water.
Yeah, it's a load of water that had like fish tank pumps to trickle it around, and then it was all lit up with LEDs.
That's cool.
Which, to be honest, did look a bit ropey on set, but it looks really good on TV. So.
Yeah.
The magic of TV.
The magic of television.
Yeah. They go, the Sontarans are plugged in, aren't they? They're getting their nourishments, their food via pipe.
Yeah. Yes, it's quite convenient. They have to be sort of out of action for, however long it is in a day. But
Unless they're eating chocolate.
Yeah. They can get away with it then.
It's crazy.
What's that useless weapon you've got? It's a what? You look ridiculous. He says to him, "You look ridiculous." Says the bloke with the floppy ears. I like that.
Oh, there's one of my favourite bits coming up when they have to escape in a minute.
Yeah, this is kind of the start of the bromance, isn't it, between these two guys? You know, they sort of begin in the last episode, obviously, you know, kind of at loggerheads with each other. Carvanice is not happy at all that he's got to look after this human, and obviously Dan's not happy that he's blown up his house or whatever it is. So there's a lot going on.
But they got this human,
But they start becoming buddies, don't they? In a weird sort of way. They never explicitly state it. It's a little nod right at the end.
Say explicit, but there was some quite explicit artwork that was showing the John Bittick trail, wasn't there?
Yes, we did see that,
When that first came up online, I can't remember if I sent it to Mandip or Mandip sent it to me, but there was a conversation between me and Mandip, right? And it was just like, oh my God. It's like... It's just hilarious. We were just laughing about it.
Oh, that's all we can do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I haven't really spoke to her much. I used to message her, and she used to message me like reasonably regularly, not like every day, but like every couple of weeks. But I can't remember last time she messaged her. She messaged me back, but I occasionally get like a little thumbs up from Rashenda and stuff like that.
You should drop her a line, say you watched this back today, and
that's what I was doing today.
Yeah,
sat on me leg up.
Sat on me leg up. Yeah.
There's a pretty big explosion coming up here shortly, isn't there?
Oh, there is. Yeah. This, I mean, all these Sontaran ships in the dockyard. I mean, there was that shot there a little while back when it goes through the crane as Dan's climbing up the thing. I don't know what it's called. And this camera seems to swing round and pull out and show you all the ships. I mean, it's just amazing. It really is.
Great effects work.
Yeah, it's astonishingly good.
What always gets me though is Carvanice's outfit. It's so simple, that headpiece. It's very like old school Star Wars, but it really works because I think if it was over animated, he wouldn't work as a character.
No, that's right. Yeah, you can imagine if it was done CGI, there'd be a temptation to make everything move. So
where is it? Is it this bit? Here we go. Wait until.
Look at that.
This is the only bit I thought was a bit squiff.
Yeah,
where they just kind of drop out.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, you see him go out. Yeah. Yeah. But then it gives you a great gag when Carvanice has to shake himself
off. Yeah. Oh yeah, the nasty general's got a gunpowder plot going on, isn't he? Look at that. What have you done?
Oh no.
Again, it's the kind of moral heart of Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
That looks so cool.
Boom.
It's really well. But this like. Just one match.
Yeah.
Brings it all down.
There we go.
Jodie's hair's gone quite wild in this one, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. The dampness, no doubt.
The damp, isn't it?
But again, it sells the environment, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it sells it. That
it's just really well. It's like you say, it's really well lit. It's really well shot. Everything's framed right, isn't it? It's like
it is. Yeah, look at that.
You can't see anything in the background, but you know it's going on because of the way it's shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
You got the smoke there, and there's a bit of a flickering of what would be fire.
Firelight, yeah.
It works.
Brilliant. Looks $1 million. It really does.
It really does.
And it's just a field in Wales. Right, all said and done.
Near a quarry. That's all it is.
Yeah. Now then, back in the TARDIS.
Back on.
She doesn't know what's going on with it at the moment, does she? She's still trying to figure out.
Yeah, because the TARDIS is having a strop.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Dan and Carvanice climbing out of the river. They're soaked. That's brilliant. Here we go. Carvanice shakes himself off. Dan's, they're gone. It's all gone.
Brilliant, that.
Yeah.
This is where Dan formally accepts the invite to travel.
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, which comes now the hard work's all been done. Yeah. Yeah. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun.
So Jodie's stage show starts in a couple of weeks, doesn't it? The Duchess.
Oh yes,
Yeah. I saw that actually. I was reading about it the other day.
Mm.
Yeah, it seems like everyone had a bit of a break.
Mm.
Well, like Mandip and Jodie definitely have. Obviously, Jodie had a baby, and Mandip was doing other bits and pieces. But now Mandip's got something coming up, and Jodie's got a stage show, and Mandip did obviously the horror story thing, didn't she, as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was on stage too, wasn't it?
That was a stage
what was
thing.
it called? Ghost Stories or something.
Yeah, and Rashenda's doing everything. You know, Master Chef, and
I've seen her on Master Chef.
I saw her on that. Yeah, and Craig Ailes, who plays Carvinist, so he's doing the
Live Aid, isn't it?
Band Aid, Live Aid musical. Yeah.
Oh really? I didn't know.
Yeah, he's playing Bob Geldof, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that the Old Vic? I think something like that. I think
so. Yeah. Didymus Holmes sent me a message the other day and said it's coming back again next year at Shaftesbury Avenue, maybe, but moving up, bigger venue, I think.
Yeah.
Now, this is a good moment now, isn't it? So the TARDIS is being brought into the Temple of Atropos.
Yeah.
And the Doctor wanders out thinking, what's going on here then? Followed by Dan.
I didn't take a photograph of the TARDIS that day.
Of course not.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Thought never even occurred to you.
No, I never took a picture of No.
Absolutely not. Gives you a sense of scale on this, doesn't it? The fact the camera can just swing around in the corridor and show different parts of it, move freely.
It was really big. I mean, that set was huge.
Yeah, you can tell it's a large space.
Yeah.
Obviously a trap.
And they're going to walk right into it. Oh, because Yaz is there, isn't she, from earlier? So
now
she's already
in
there. But yeah, dun 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 dun. Oh, that's a great shot. The three of you again. Look at that. The deadly trio.
Yeah. It was amazing how close that camera was on that shot, though.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was literally like right. It was so close.
Just a wide angle on it. Yeah, there's real depth in this scene, isn't there? Look at that.
Yeah, it was literally, we were literally like opposite sides of the room.
Yeah. The remnants of the Maori.
Now I looked at the bit in the middle there. I could see the sort of paths of where the water is.
Yeah. It was a nice little feature, but it was just hazardous because everyone was like,
I like this concept of the planet of time and
it's a mad thing, isn't it? It's kind of like, throughout all of this, it's like time is a light,
it's a physical thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's and it's kind of at war with space. So there's different ways you can kind of read that in a sort of literal sense and a sort of metaphorical, allegorical sense as well. It's or a philosophical sense even.
It was at the point where everyone was like, every day was going, what are we doing? What is it about? Like,
what is going on?
What is going on?
There must have been quite a fair bit of choreography in here as well, actually, where everybody's...
There was a lot of... So Jamie directed this episode, and it was a lot of moving around, making sure everyone's in the right space, and then when we do a shot, everyone would like to be... What did they call it? They called it when they just slightly move you.
Yeah.
From where you were, just so you're still in the shot, so they think that you're in the same place, but you're not, and it's...
Yeah.
This bit was just
the countdown.
Ages.
Did it?
Oh my god. We went through this countdown so many times.
Oh dear, I can imagine.
And that click, click, on there you can hear the click, can't you? But when Sam actually did it, it was like a... Because he had gloves on. So there was no noise. But you just knew at that point when you when we did that final bit, it was like cut and like that's it. It was totally, oh god, there's something huge is coming after this,
Yeah.
Which
and then the opening of the next episode is really cool, where Jodie's thinking all this stuff and everything's moving slow motion around her.
Yeah. And we get that next time with characters that we haven't seen yet. The Grand Serpent, he's coming in, so we're like, who's he? What's going on there?
Yeah, like I said,
it's a process.
Didn't know he was in it until he was in the trailer next to me that day. That was bizarre. Just went outside for it. cigarette, and
Yeah.
I could hear someone talking on the phone, and I looked in the trailer next to me, and it was him just lying on the sofa, chatting away on his phone.
That sounds
And I was like,
doesn't
oh
it?
my God, that's what? And I looked off, and then was
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm really sorry. I just wanted to say hi because I love what he'd done in Line of Duty. He went, oh, thanks very
Yeah.
much. I was like, I'll probably see you later. And he said, oh, are you in the next scene with me? I was like, don't think so because I didn't even know you were here. So probably not.
You don't really know
No.
what's going on.
And then that was like 2 minutes later. I was sat having my coffee in my trailer, and then the Sontaran walked past, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is getting
Sontarans.
weird. Like, things
Yeah,
starting to get weird now. But
Only on Doctor Who, I suppose. Eh?
only on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But that's probably got the most memories because it was the first one I did.
Right.
The first thing I ever did was shoot in the Temple of Atropos, and it was just it was crazy. That whole week was just mental, and just everyone getting to know each other, because not everyone had met until that point, I think.
Yeah.
And that's when Jodie and Mandip and John started their inner circle with Jacob. So I think there was conversations about they had the same thing with Tonzin and Bradley.
Right.
So they had like a WhatsApp group, I think, and chat group and whatever, and they talk stuff through, and they were saying about it. So I think that's when they started theirs with with John and stuff, and it was really nice to just be there and be part of that. The comedy lunchtimes where Sam and Lucinda be eating sushi through their masks, very carefully. John
smashing out sushi flavored prosthetics.
Yeah,
and then whiff of fish.
John and his first time sitting, so they're like, "Oh, we've got you a chair, John." And he's got his little director's chair, and he sits and it breaks, but it broke, and he slowly just fell backwards, and no one helped him. Just everyone just started taking pictures.
Just watching the comedy fall.
So that was kind of cool, but yeah, it was wicked.
Yeah,
I'm
happy
really
times,
glad I got
happy
to do it.
memories.
Yeah,
totally.
it's amazing. Yeah. So, Johnny, thank you so much for joining us for this and for
it's good to see
sharing
you again, mate.
tales and memories from your time on the show.
It's nice to be back. It's kind of cool.
Good to see you again. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have you back on the show again for something else.
Yes.
I mean, if you're going to be laid up for a little while.
Well, I'm going to be here a while, and if you guys got nothing to do during the day, we can look at another episode, or
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, we'll get something sorted.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Good.
Absolutely, 100%.
Brilliant. Right, well, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us as well. And we will be back very soon with more on Who Corner to Corner.
Indeed. See you next time, listeners. Bye for now.
Bye.
Ta-ra.